I am Jennie Joseph. I am a midwife and an activist. I fight for families. I fight for you. Perinatal means the time around birth and includes before pregnancy, during pregnancy, labor and delivery, postpartum, and any time in between. The perinatal pause provides the time to reflect on the root causes of where we are, where we've been, and to create strategies for how we can transform maternity care in America. Katrina, you have so much experience, and I'm always happy to talk to you because you help us to kind of just tease it out and share, what's real about having your baby in the United States. What's real about being prepared? What's real about being empowered? I talk a lot about the perinatal period. And I do that because we've got this sort of habit here where we sort of hone in as if pregnancy is all that we're dealing with. And yes, pregnancy is one phase in the perinatal time frame. So really, before you're even pregnant, we need to have some thoughts, information, education, and support. During the pregnancy, during the labor and delivery, during the birth, in the postpartum, during the breastfeeding period, and then in between of pregnancies. So that's such a long continuum of care. That's why I use that word perinatal.
Right.
Because perinatal means around birth, rather than just this one event, either the pregnancy or the birth or the postpartum. The whole of it is what we need to be prepared about. And I believe we need to be in reality. And so my little hashtag is, it's time to tell the truth. So I want to talk today a little bit about the truth of what really needs to happen for people. Let's start with pregnancy for today. But let's talk about, for example, what can you do? And then also let's talk about what needs to happen. All right. So first trimester, someone's just found out they're pregnant, or they are up to the 12 weeks is the first trimester, 12, 13 weeks. Let's talk about what can you do?
What can I do? It's just educate mommy on need to find a provider, start taking their prenatal vitamins, have a better diet, eating healthier, better food choices, lots of protein and vegetables, make sure they're drinking their water, and so that they can get their provider comes in place so that they can get their lab work done and maybe even an ultrasound, just to make sure everything is where it needs to be in this first trimester.
That's really helpful. Just so succinct. It's just these few things that need to be in place, things that you can do as a pregnant person, things that you can have support for if you need help. So, none of us have the perfect diet. We already know that. And none of us really need a whole lot of education on what to eat, because we also know that as well. But we just don't want to.
Right.
So it is something that happens in the first trimester in terms of you have a change in your digestion. A lot of folk are very nauseous. Some people are actively vomiting. Some people have a horrible condition called hyperemesis, where they vomit to the point of dehydration. So you have to consider how to figure out your best diet with whatever circumstance you're dealing with for yourself. Customize it, right? And then if you can only do so much, let's say, for example, you're used to eating out. Maybe this is the time in the first trimester where you decide, you know what, I'm going to grocery shop and try to cook and work from eating at home, packing lunches and taking them to work, rather than, going overboard with the processed foods or eating out foods, junk foods. So we talk about diet as early as possible because we know that's a foundation for the healthiest pregnancy you can get. But you do your best. Don't make yourself wrong. Don't get on a guilt trip. And certainly don't feel bad, because some people, especially in the first trimester, have changes in their digestion. So you can certainly do things for yourself. You can also have providers help you. And like you mentioned, having the blood work done, having maybe an ultrasound done, get the testing started in the first trimester, in those first 12, 13 weeks, is a good start. Right? So again, it's drinking the water, eating as best you can. What else did you say?
Taking the prenatal
vitamins, which you can get over the counter, even if you don't have a prescription. You can shop for those online. You can shop at the health food stores, but you can find a way to supplement your diet with nutrients that are going to help you and the baby through this early, very important phase.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's do second trimester. What do you need? What can you do?
Second trimester, you're starting to feel a little bit better. So you're going to continue drinking your water, continue taking your vitamins, but you need to prepare for this glucose test.
Oh,
So
yes.
28-week mark, we do the glucose test, and
Mhm.
that's in the second trimester.
Mhm.
So we want to prepare for that. Just same thing, eating healthy,
Mhm.
making sure that baby's moving now. Just different things in your body are going to change. So.
Yeah. It's interesting at this stage, usually people feel so healthy, so well. A lot of people remark in the second trimester that they don't even remember that they're pregnant, right? But the little bump begins to grow, the belly starts to expand. And yes, movements pick up around about 16 weeks, sometimes up to 20 weeks if it's your first baby. But that's something that's so reassuring. I think that's one of the highlights of pregnancy, when you feel the baby's kick in, the baby's turning. For the first few times, it's so exciting. I agree with you. Getting ready for testing that's coming up. And, it's so interesting because the basics, what happens is, in the second trimester, you're kind of getting into your groove. And it tends to be so much easier once you realize that all you have to really take care of is normal, straightforward stuff. Staying hydrated.
Yes.
Eating the best food that you can afford, that you can find. Taking care of yourself, a little bit of self-care.
Yes.
Taking a break, getting a nap.
Yes.
Going for a walk and breathing some good fresh air. Sitting quietly, doing some yoga, praying, doing whatever it is that has you just, settled.
Right.
Second trimester, perfect time to start getting into a certain practice of bringing that forward as part of your prenatal journey.
Yes.
Okay. So again, if you have a provider, what are they going to do for you in the second trimester? Go ahead and share what they can expect from the provider in the second trimester.
Second trimester, they're going to give you your anatomy ultrasound. That is just to make sure that the baby's anatomy is there. There's no curvature in the spine. They're looking for anything significant with the baby's brain or the kidneys. Just
So
making
looking
sure
at the
that,
organs.
the organs, making sure that everything is normal. Along with that glucose test. Along with an AFP test, a quad screen, just any spina bifida, neural tube defect, Down syndrome. If you want that test done, it's a blood draw.
So those are the kind of chromosomal tests, and they're blood tests that can be done to see about the state of the baby.
Yes.
Even though the blood is being taken from the mother. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that as you go through the second trimester and you're getting more accustomed to being pregnant, you might see your provider every 4 weeks. But we hit the third trimester and now it's a go. You're going to be going at least every 2 weeks to your provider at the early stage of the third. And by the end, you're going weekly.
Yes.
So let's talk about what can you do and what needs to happen.
In that third trimester.
In the third trimester.
Third trimester is very important just because you got to prepare for the baby. So we need to do more lab work, the last set of lab work. We need to also get the birth plan together.
Yeah.
That's important because you want your birth how you want your birth. And then postpartum wise, we got to make sure that you have your plan for the postpartum time frame. So those are pretty much the most important things that we need to really consider and take care of in that third trimester.
Yep. I find that, as we do more frequent visits, obviously at each visit, prenatal visits, your provider will check such things as your blood pressure, check your weight, check your urine, measure you. Are you growing? Is the baby growing at the size and the time frame that you'd expect? Making sure that the heart rate, the vital signs for mother and baby are normal, in the normal range.
Yes.
Reviewing the labs, reviewing the ultrasounds. Working together so that providers that listen to families, listen to parents and partners, incorporate the whole family. They seem to have an ability to really help support in a way that has everybody comfortable. Those are the families, those are the people that I see thriving through their pregnancies.
Yes.
So I encourage folk who are seeing providers or not seeing providers who are providing that type of care to be be proactive about whether or not this is good for you, if it's right for you.
Right.
If you have the opportunity to look for another provider that may be more conducive with supporting you and having your questions answered, having you feel comfortable. As you get closer to this birth, it is really important for you to stop and examine, am I feeling safe? Am I okay?
Yes.
Because if you're not, we really recommend you do something about that.
Right.
Try to find somebody else.
Yeah, and we need to know ahead of time so we can help support you with that.
Yeah. So throughout the pregnancy, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, some of the staple recommendations are keep hydrated, drink that water, drink as much as you can, and use the opportunity to really replenish your body as you grow a baby, a whole human being. Eat the best food that you can find, that you can afford, that you are able to do. Make sure that you get your vegetables, your fruits, your fresh foods, your green foods, your clean foods as best you can. And where you can't get that, do what you can. You know, there's options there. So just be very careful and cautious as you go through. Make sure that you get some exercise. Get out and walk. You don't have to do any spectacular weightlifting or any such thing, but you do have to keep your body moving, and you're preparing yourself and this child for the labor and delivery.
Correct.
Find out about breastfeeding ahead of time. Don't wait till the baby's out to ask those questions. Breast milk, human milk is the best milk for the baby. And if you're not able to breastfeed, then of course you want to understand how to be able to prepare the formula and make sure your baby's getting what it needs. But all of these things need to be thought about ahead of time. Lastly, involve your loved ones. Keep them up to speed with how you're doing. Tell the truth about how you're doing. Don't be scared to ask for help. Don't be scared to reach out when you're not doing well. They need to know as well. Everybody's on the same team. Keep everybody engaged and informed. And know that you will get through this. We always do. You will prevail. And, you know, make sure that you are part of this process.
And everybody in your support team.
Absolutely.
Stay connected by following us on Instagram at I am Jennie Joseph, or visiting our website, www.jenniejoseph.com.